Hey guys, what's up? Blacker Bricks here, back with another video. Now today is Blacker Bricks Q&A episode number 3. As always, leave your comments down below for a chance for me to answer them in the next video. I'd love to receive more comments. I was so glad to see that there's so many comments on this video. It feels awesome. Anyways, let's get started. Now, I apologize in advance if I pronounce anyone's name wrong. Just let me know down below. I'd love to say it right the next time. Let's get started, though. So first, we have a question from Two-Sided. They asked, I'm trying to start a Lego city, but don't have the money. What should I do? This is such a great question, Two-Sided. Now, I'm going to try my best not to just plug myself, because I know a lot of YouTubers end up doing this when they get to a certain point. But I actually created a video on this exact subject. I think it was building a Lego city on a budget, part 1. I actually started the series. I never finished it though. So I honestly don't remember exactly what I talked about, but I'll tell you what I think personally is the best advice. And that is start designing online. I know for some people it might be a daunting task. For me, I was reluctant to start designing online really until 2020. It's just that I didn't feel like it was as fun as building in real pieces, but the biggest pro is that you don't have to spend really any money. Obviously, it's going to be time consuming, but there's so many things you can do. You really gain a lot of skills when you build online. You start to literally build up your skills. And I mean, what I did actually is I got to a point where I was having so much fun and I started selling my designs and I made a decent bit of money. I am going to start that up again. And you can use that money to buy the real things. So this is sort of, I know it might not be the exact answer you expected. There are other ways. I mean, you can enter giveaways, you can enter contests. I know I'm running a contest. You could maybe wait for a birthday. You could ask old friends if they have any Lego that they want to give away. Check out some donations. There's actually quite a few things you can do. So, I mean, hopefully these tips helped. Let me know if that is what you're interested in. So yeah, I know Lego is super expensive and building a Lego city is especially expensive. So there are a couple of ways you can go about it. Okay, so Red Guy Studios asks, "Hi Blacker Bricks, I have 2 questions. How do you print labels? The thing saying the address, name of the person, etc. for the bubble mailer. Do you use label paper or does the post office / Bricklink give it to you?" Oh, so that's all one question. All right. I thought that was 2 questions. Okay, let me get started for you, Red Guy Studios. So how do I print labels is I go to PayPal, multi-order shipping. Actually, I'm realizing as I'm reading these comments that I honestly have like a video for everything at this point. So this is the video I'd point you to, how to print Bricklink shipping labels on PayPal. So PayPal and Bricklink are integrated very well with one another. So you can really use it very easily like that. So do I use label paper? I actually bought paper on Amazon. So I'm just going to pull it up and let me see. Here it is. So this is the MF label half sheet self-adhesive shipping labels. I'll leave this down in the link below. I think I got 100. So it comes with 100 of these. So they're 2 peelable sheets on each. And this is really what I recommend, that you do 1 label per. I actually do 4 labels per every 1 piece of paper, so I have about 400 labels worth, and they're adhesive, so you just have to cut them out and you just peel them off. So they're not super cheap, about like 10 cents, 11 cents, but it's $10.99 for each piece of paper. So it's all right. That's really what I use right now. And yes, obviously, the post office / Bricklink does not give it to you. Unfortunately, I don't think there's really anything that Bricklink gives you as a seller, at least not right now. The post office, at least USPS, is very good in the United States. They give you their boxes and all those materials for free. Obviously, you can only use their postage with it, so that's sort of the caveat. Second question, how do you get the mini bags for minifigs / parts, bubble wrap, and bubble mailers? So I'm actually not 100% sure. I know Uline is what I use for quite a bit. So Uline is where I got my boxes from. And I made custom stamps and everything. As for bubble mailers, I got those on eBay. And for the... let's check it out. So, oops. What am I doing? So you can find quite a few affordable bubble mailers on eBay. I think one of these was the ones I got. And then for the Lego bags, you can just search up Mills bags or Ziploc bags. You can find these in lots of hobby shops. You can find them in Walmart. I mean, a lot of the stores that I'm mentioning obviously are US stores. So if you're in another country, you might be aware of small stores that have these sort of bags. And as some of you may know, I actually stopped using these bags. I use Lego bags and I just reseal them. And that I use the Impulse sealer. And I'll try and find the exact one that I use. This is the one. So yeah, I can also drop a link to this one if any of you guys are interested. Okay, so yeah, that's really it. So I answered all of those. I actually don't use bubble wrap right now, so I can't really tell you where I would get that from. Default minifigure asks, what is the best minifigure you have / wish you had? All right, default minifigure. This is actually a really good question. I'll have to think about that for a while. I think it would definitely be one of the Ninjago minifigures. I feel like Stone Armor Cole. I think he came in like a little box. That is one minifigure I do wish I had. As some of you might know, Cole is my favorite character, and I know it's super sad that Kirby Morrow passed away just a couple months ago. I can't believe it. So I do think that's a very cool minifigure. D-Brick Shadow writes, keep going with the good content. Thank you so much, D-Brick Shadow. That is really great to hear. So I'll just reply to that right now. Now Diego Blanco Carmona asks 2 questions. When did you start collecting Lego? And have you ever had a dark age on Lego when you stopped collecting them for some time? Thanks for answering my last question. Thank you, Diego, for your questions. They're pretty cool. So when did I start collecting Lego? That's a really good question. I mean, I know a lot of people have stories that they played with Lego as a kid, and obviously my story starts the exact same way. I have been building and playing with Lego for really as long as I can remember. I mean, I was around 2 years old when I first built. Obviously, those were the big Duplo pieces, not the smaller pieces, but that's really how long it started back then. So when did I actually start collecting it as like... I think it was back when the Lego Batman movie came out, 2017. So I remember until then I'd loved playing with Lego, but I never like collected a theme. I loved all the villains from the Lego Batman movie. I thought it was so cool that they created all like the obscure villains. So I just tried to collect all of those sets. And when I think about it, I feel really bad because I never got the Joker Manor. That was like the biggest set and I never got it. Now it's ridiculously expensive now. So I sort of feel bad for that. But that's really when I started collecting Lego. And have I ever had a dark age? The dark age came right before that. That was maybe 2015 through 2017. Really, that was after Chima ended. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I really didn't buy any sets in that time. Then when I got back into Batman in 2017, the early half, that's really when I came back. The 1966 Batcave, that was one of the sets. Then Colin Chen asks, where's the best place to sell Lego? Wow, that's a really good question. So he says, excuse me, my friends are telling me eBay, but I feel that Amazon is better because prices are always higher. Higher cost equals more money. What's your take? All right, Colin, this is a really good question. So I'll tell you right away that I really have almost no clue about selling on Amazon. I don't want to give you an answer because I haven't sold on Amazon before. I have sold on Bricklink, Brickowl, and eBay. On eBay, really, you can get the most money for sets, and if you're going to sell pieces, high quantities. I have sold minifigures on eBay quite extensively, and I think you can get a lot of money. The biggest issues are obviously competition, because eBay has some Lego giants, people that have been at this for years, people that are working with huge teams, people that have service and quantity that will exceed you. So it is maybe a bit difficult to get into that game. Timing is very important, obviously, like if a new minifigure series comes out and you put them on eBay. I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question exactly. So Bricklink and Brickowl, in my experience, are best for parts. They're fairly large, so you can get a decent amount of orders. The thing with Bricklink and Brickowl is they are extremely, extremely time consuming, and I know I've talked about that earlier. eBay is good because it's a lot quicker, especially because you're selling sets mainly, and you will get more money. The biggest issue I have with eBay is the 10% fee they take. Bricklink takes about 3%, so it's a pretty big difference. D-Brick Shadow asks, what is the best place for you to keep Lego boxes for years without taking any damage or deformation? D-Brick Shadow, that is a really good question, actually. So I have really been keeping my Lego sets in the same closet for really about 10 years plus now. It's just a closet in my basement. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I'll do a room tour when I get back, when it's all cleaned up. But it's a hard question because you want to keep it somewhere that's cool and dry. Those are pretty standard adjectives and the requirements that you want to look at. Obviously, it's not easy, right? To keep somewhere cool and dry, you could have flooding, you could have maybe an earthquake, you could have, I don't know, there's so many things, right? And the biggest problem that comes with me is that Lego boxes take up so much space. Now, like 2 minutes after starting to answer this question, I'm realizing that I'm not sure if you're talking about the Lego boxes themselves or the sets. If you have like a crazy amount of sets, it might make sense to put them in Ziplocs because Lego boxes take up so much space when you put pieces in them. I know I would never be able to bring myself to do that. I just like keeping the boxes. So I have all the sets in the boxes and I keep them organized like that. So I would suggest a closet. And it's very important for you to check in every now and then because I know I kept some boxes under my bed one time and they just got completely destroyed. So would not recommend that necessarily. Brick Build Studios asks, what is your favorite Lego minifigure and where is best to store Lego to sell in the future? So I think, who wrote that? Default Minifigure wrote a similar question. What is your favorite Lego minifigure? That's a pretty good question, actually. I'd have to think because I know I talked about the Series 3 or 4 minifigures, which I got quite a long time ago. I think it might be one of those because I really enjoyed those when I got them when I was much younger. And yeah, the Skater Boy from Series 3 and the Punk Rocker and then I think the Geisha, those were all three really cool figures. I'd have to think hard to see what other good figures, or what figures I really liked from the past. Maybe the Cole from Rebooted. That was another cool figure. Where's the best place where is best to store Lego to sell in the future? Okay. So I know some people have gone on, just like I was talking about earlier, Uline, these racks for pallets. Then there's also Global Industrial. There are actually quite a few stores like that. So material handling, you can hold it in something like this. Now, obviously, this is a much more, this is obviously a website for industry. And this is so I understand that not everyone has enough space to just put one of these in their house. Honestly, I don't even think I would. It just doesn't look that good. So you can get a cabinet from one of these like home stores, like Home Goods or Target or something like that. And that makes sense. Otherwise, what I'd have to say is one of the other cons with selling or investing in Lego is that it's a big space I don't know how to say it. It takes up a lot of space. So you need to keep that in mind when you're doing it. The best place, like I said before, somewhere cool and dry. And ideally, don't stack them on top of each other. I know it's easy because when you get a lot of sets and you have no idea where to put it, try and put them next to each other and make sure it's sturdy because you don't want there to be a lot of pressure because over time the gravity obviously is going to win. Okay, PB asks, I have a question. What was your favorite Bricklink order that you received? Mine was one containing 40 instructions. Sadly, it was canceled. PB, that's actually a really good question. I had a order similar to that. It was 40, I think, DC minifigure packets. It wasn't actually canceled. I was selling them for like 1 cent each. I kind of just wanted to get rid of them. I was honestly a bit surprised that someone was interested. I have received quite a few instructions orders by people that were a bit confused because on Bricklink, the instructions in the set look somewhat similar. My favorite order was probably one I received in December. It was a lot of minifigures, and it's so much fun to receive minifigure orders because they usually come out to like $50 or $60 and they only have a couple of lots. So they're quick to pack and they have really good profit margins. So those are super fun to pack. Now Jaden asks, do you think the Lego Coliseum is worth the price? Okay, this is a great question. So I actually went down to the Lego store a couple of days earlier. I know I haven't made a video on this. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan of vlogging that much. So I don't know. I saw it in person and I have to be honest, it's an extremely repetitive set. Now, I completely understand that the Colosseum is a work of art. It's an amazing building created literally thousands of years ago, and it's quite crazy that it's still standing today. I think the issue is that from a Lego perspective, it just doesn't seem worth $550. Like 550 US dollars is ridiculous. Like I wish I had the conversions to different currencies off the top of my head. I do not. But that's a lot of money. Like for some people that could be a paycheck or two. So it doesn't make sense to me to pay that much money just to build something that's so repetitive. Now, it does make a great display piece, and it is pretty amazing, actually. It's like something that I honestly, I don't know, I wouldn't say I definitely want to buy it, because in that price you could get so many other sets that are maybe more fun or interesting to build. So I I don't know. It is 9,000 pieces, so I don't know how much cheaper they could make it. Like if they sold it for $200 or $300, that not only would that be, I mean, they probably wouldn't lose money, but it wouldn't make sense. So I feel that 550 is as much as I don't love the set, I think 550 is somewhat reasonable. Finally, Ryan asked, irrelevant, but will you make a channel where you play video games? Lol. Probably you won't, but just asking. Ryan, this is actually a really good question. I don't know. That's interesting. Maybe I could make like a side channel, like Blacker Bricks, like a day in the life, where I make like a weekly video just talking about stuff outside of Lego. That would be fun. I don't know what video games I'd play. I'm not a huge video game fan. I've been looking to play like Ark and Far Cry. Those look like cool games. But yeah, that really wraps up today's video, guys. As always, if you have any cool questions, leave them down below. I'd love to answer them. And I will see you, or well, I'll answer your questions next Sunday then. Thanks, and have a great day, guys.